So anyhow, Colin, you ready?
I am.
I'll be in order. Need a motion to approve the minutes of February 8th meeting?
Would you like to take attendance?
Sure.
Tim Robinson,
Here.
Craig Leggett,
Here.
Dave O'Brien.
Here.
We have a quorum. We have 3 out of 5.
I'll make the motion. Motion by Tim, do I have a second? I'll second it. Any further discussion? All in favor? Carried. Report committees. Dan? How's it going? There was a meeting, wasn't there, this past week with the Bell?
It's a bi-weekly meeting. We have a meeting this afternoon at 1:30.
Okay.
You want me to jump into the last meeting, some of the highlights?
Sure, go ahead.
The planning on all the infrastructure issues continue to go well. We got good news from Canal Corp yesterday approving the permit for LaBella to go on site and do survey work. It's an important milestone in the timing of the work that needs to be done. And we're also now working with the town and village, or will be, on the communication message with what's happening with the project. It's still early because the project is still crystallizing, but as it crystallizes, we'll do some community outreach.
The survey is actual, survey, actual line survey?
Yeah, infrastructure survey work,
Okay.
existing conditions, things like that. So then with that detailed information, they can then do the conceptual engineering work. So they just need to understand what all utilities are, any archaeological issues that might exist, things like that. And they have to get a permit from Canal side to go on site to do all that work. So it was submitted several weeks ago, and we just got the approval yesterday.
Because we're going all the way to the canal.
Sorry, not to be clear, yeah, where they're run the potential sewer line.
Oh,
So it runs all the way down.
Yeah.
So it's not just next to our property.
okay. It's coming off of 197.
The other way. It's into the village.
Okay.
So it's from where we are down along the canal into the village.
You're correct. It goes from there to 197 and then down Argyle Street.
Yeah.
Yeah. Part of it is they're also going to be doing quite a bit of digging so they can get an assessment of soils. That's all. See how deep they can dig, basically.
There's some sensitivity with the infrastructure of the canal, penetrating the side of the canal, to make sure everything's done appropriately, understandably so. So that will be part of the survey work.
No water in it this morning, so I don't know what the problem is.
Come back in a moment.
Yeah, that's right.
And from the engineering perspective, anything else to add?
Not necessarily for the engineering, it's just I was spending a little time looking at their schedule that they've put together. And I've noticed that there's quite a few task items that they've self-identified, meaning LaBella, that they're hoping to bring to fruition here in the next couple of weeks, or started a week ago. So hopefully this afternoon, they're gonna say, you know, hey, we've made considerable progress on these items, so.
Yeah, and the good news part of that, matter of fact, you have it right there, there's a very detailed schedule. They've itemized everything going on, the time frame. So if one thing gets out of lockstep, we're gonna know very early and be able to react accordingly. So I think that thus far, the scheduling detail is excellent and will allow us to manage the project appropriately. And that ties in with the funding mechanism too, because we have a certain time constraint with the grant funding. So we need to make those time constraints.
So it's September of this year, right? The grant expired.
Correct. Or we're supposed to have everything done. Anything else?
Oh, I guess the only thing you say everything done, it's basically your project will be 90% complete at that point. If you do go beyond that point, there'll be some additional work to tidy up the final design, construction drawings, the final permitting to the DEC. But
Yeah, and as a reminder, this is all engineering work, planning work, and then we'll make a no-go decisions on what to do next, and that will be tied in with our funding too. So yeah, more to come.
Anything else? How much? What's their work, their contract?
Just under 600, by something we left the additional funding for some legal and other expenses beyond Labella.
Their number, they got it there, was 554.
554. And that leaves us the 45 or so for other expenses.
And that was funded through.
Part of what?
NBRC, thank you. Yeah. Keep them all straight. You bet you can. Okay, keyword site activity. We have a huge crane down there. It's one of those frame crane, they call it travel crane. They're gonna use take the reels off the trucks and stack them. The reels are supposed to start arriving. I think you said the 13th. But next week. Are they down in the port now? Is that where? They're in Port Albany right now. That's where that was from. And we'll see. But they really cleaned up the site a lot. Yeah. So if you get a chance to run down there and see it, it'd be good to see. A trailer is supposed to arrive this week. So we'll see what happens.
That area in front of SMS Rail, they've completely gravelled it, and they're getting ready to bring in their trailers, bringing a number of trailers. They're doing some electrical work, some lighting work, and some security work. They've put retention bags under all the stormwater drains. Not that there's anything to worry about, but they're being very cautionary with everything they do. So it's very fascinating work, especially when those reels arrive, because apparently they're very large. I hear the first, they have 2 reels, one's about 80,000 pounds, and the larger reel is over 100,000 pounds. So we're talking huge, heavy reels.
Do they hire local crane operators?
They hired, I don't know where they got hired from. I know the crane company was, I know it was Burr, I think it was Burr Crane Company. But I don't know where they're out of.
The big crane to bring in from far away, but locally we have people, but I don't know if they're great at that time.
This one came up from Kentucky.
Oh, wow.
This guy, he was 40 foot tall.
Yeah. It's huge. Do you want to mention their interest in additional property?
Yeah, they're interested in 6 acres. It's in between there, so we're gonna talk about that. I have not heard back from them. But we'll just do an amendment to the lease and go from there.
It's the area in front of the large building. And it's right next, as you know, they have what I'll call the northern area where the SMS rail trailer is, where they're gonna put their trailers. And then the southern end where they're gonna put the reels, and they're realizing they need more space. So they're gonna add 6 acres pending negotiations for the lease modification. Subject to board approval.
Raw land, right? Just no building there.
No, they did not express interest. We offered and they looked at the building, but then decided they did not want the building.
We do have interest in someone renting leasing in a big building. But to be determined, I'm meeting down there tomorrow just to show them the site and see if they want to bring materials in and store materials there and ship them down to Virginia to one of the other plants for usage. So we'll see what happens.
The leasing of that property and the ultimate goal is to, infrastructure and all that. It's not on lots, right? But it's just come for now.
It comes for now, he was down there for 3 years. And, our plan would be to get the engineering done, then start doing construction, to get funding for construction. That's gonna take 2 to 3 years.
Sure.
So we parallel on, we might as well get some income coming in while we're doing it. And then we'll have to decide whether we want to cut the property up in sites or just lease it or do what.
Okay.
So we'll see what happens. So But they're busy down there now. When they get busy, they get busy.
And it will be for a couple of years, won't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Are those cables American made?
Sweden.
Wow. The,
Some of the material for the cables is coming out of not the Middle East, but around the Polish area, Yugoslavia area.
fascinating. Forgot my other question. Oh, can you remind us how much that lease is worth per month, per year?
It's 12,800 a month.
Okay.
The other one had, whatever, 6 times 1,600 is, that's 9,600 a month. It's another 100 and some odd a year. That's great. So. Any question on Hewitt? Okay, policy updates, why did I put this in that place? Oh, policy updates been done. Rolled out. Ally's got them online, got everything there. Go from there, so. Bob, what do you got?
Well, I guess we're gonna want to talk the park for the moment, that the information that we have thus far is the Corps of Engineers hasn't gone anywhere, thus to date, and Dave, according to your email that I saw, that Stefanik's office has been contacted.
Yep. He was gonna call him, we gotta follow up with him. It's been a week, I think, I've got to follow up with him, see.
Okay.
So. we'll see.
And I saw from Stephen George there from NCES, he was in full concurrence with going congressional.
Yeah, and Dan Washburn said, what am I gonna do? I gotta fill it in, remove in the building. They haven't responded, what do I do? Said, hey, you fill it in, I said,
I really don't think he has much risk, but that's his prerogative.
his prerogative, he's gonna pave it over.
Yeah.
Maybe he just wants to put a gravel there in case, until something happens, instead of paving it until figured out, but just to come back and pave a small areas, it doesn't make sense.
Right.
This is for Hilltop?
Yeah.
Property? Well, but you're talking about.
There is, pardon? No. This is, Dan Washburn's property.
Yeah, the Army Corps has to be involved in that. I guess.
There's a small finger of jurisdictional wetland that we are in the process of having removed from jurisdiction. And we need to have that final determination made by the Corps of Engineers. We're now on our second contact person because our prior one retired. We thought we were in a good position just to let the first guy retire and things would move along, but unfortunately, it's just fallen by the wayside again.
Good, so we'll see. I told him doesn't have that much risk. It's pretty clear it was a problem that the town inadvertently created by not finishing the culvert. But he's nervous, what happens, they want to dig it up. Says we'll be ready to move in by July, so we'll see. Anything else, Bob?
So I got, as far as the park goes in these jurisdictional determinations, the Hilltop property is really kind of the priority, but we still have lingering out there as well as the preliminary jurisdictional determination for the remaining IDA owned properties. All I guess my assumption is, and we all know what that means, is that's in line behind Hilltop.
Yep. Supposedly, other words done, it's just sitting waiting for sign off. It's down from 9 engineers to 3. Not our problem. Work extra hours if you have to get this stuff done. You can't hold people up. They must be holding big projects up.
Can you imagine? Right. This is just,
It's
tiny.
We got anything else?
well, any